Good morning, guys. Shavua Tov. We are Lamed Aleph Amud Bet 31b, right at the start of the Gemara, and Mishnah had a lot to do with Brit Milah, and that's what we're going to be continuing with today as well, because the Mishnah started with Konam. If I don't want to benefit from people that have a Brit Milah, people that don't have a Brit Milah. And then, so we already dealt with that, and then the Gemara spoke about how important the Brit Milah is, how great it is, and the Gemara is going to continue on that vein. 6 lines up from the bottom. Tanya, this is in a bright day. Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha Omer. Rabbi Yeshua ben Korcha says, Gedola Milah, how great Milah is. Shekol zechiyot she'asa Moshe Rabbeinu, all the merits that Moshe Rabbeinu did. Nisim, you put on mute? Thank you. All the merits that Moshe Rabbeinu did, lo amdulo keshenitrashel min hamilah, did not stand with him when he was weak in doing the Brit Milah for his son. I mean, he was going to get killed. I mean, he had all these other zechuyot, Moshe Rabbeinu. So why was he going to get killed? Because he didn't do the Brit Milah for his son. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, vayifkesheu Hashem vayvakesh hamito. Hashem met him and he wanted to kill him. So what happened was, just in the story, Hashem commanded Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Mitzrayim, and because he was in Midian by Yitro, he had a wife already, and he had a kid, and he tells him to go to Mitzrayim, take the Jews out of Egypt. At the same time, he didn't do Brit Milah for his son yet. So now we're going to see the thought process here of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Hashem wanted to. So then what happened was, then he gets to the hotel, and then there is a snake. We're going to see it also in the Gemara that tries to kill him, and then his wife, she saves the day and does the Brit Milah for the son, and then that snake kind of goes away, and that's it. So let's see. Amar Rabbi, 4 lines up from the bottom. Rabbi says, Chas v'shalom sheMoshe Rabbeinu nitrasha min hamilah. Chas v'shalom, to say that Moshe Rabbeinu was weak in doing his son's milah, like he pushed it off or whatever it was, but he had a calculation. And Lakach Amar, this is what Moshe Rabbeinu said: Emol ve'etzeh, if I do a Brit Milah for my son and then I travel, sakanai, it's dangerous to travel. If I do a Brit Milah, then it's dangerous for him. Shnei Amar, as it says, Vayi bayom hashilishi biotam koavim v'gomer. On the third day, when they were still very in pain, this is talking about when the place of Shechem, after they defiled Yaakov Avinu's daughter, Dinah, so they made a fake deal with them and said, when everyone gets Brit Milah, then we'll marry each other. So they said, no problem. They all got Brit Milah. Third day of the Brit Milah came when they were very weak, and Levi and Shimon and Levi came and killed all the men. So you see over here that on the third day they're weak, and we'll see the Ran adds that not just the third day, and that means the day 1 and 2 they're not weak. Day 1 and 2 all the more so they're weak, but the weakness continues through the 3 days. So therefore Moshe Rabbeinu says, if I want to do Brit Milah, I'm going to be stuck for 3 days. I can't travel with him. He's in a state of weakness, and so that's sakana. And then next, emol ve'eshesh l'sha yamim. But if I do a Brit Milah, then I wait 3 days. So okay, do Brit Milah, wait 3 days, then go to Mitzrayim. Because Baruch Hu Amar li lech shuv Mitzrayim. Hashem told me go to Mitzrayim. So I'm going to delay on Hashem's command for 3 days. So he was stuck in a dilemma. I got the command of Brit Milah. I had the command of going to Mitzrayim. If I do Brit Milah now and then start traveling, it's sakana for my son. If I do Brit Milah now and then I wait, I'm delaying Hashem's command. Ela, rather, what's the issue that Hashem wanted to kill him, so to speak? What happened over here? What was the issue? Mipeneh maneh nash Moshe. So why was Moshe punished? Next page. Mipeneh shenit asek b'malon tchila, because he dealt with the hotel first. Shenimar, as the pasuk says, vayi baderech b'malon, when I was on their way to the hotel, meaning they got to their inn. And it was a time to do the Brit Milah then. So but what happened? Moshe Rabbeinu dealt with the luggage, dealt with checking in first before he dealt with the Brit Milah. So then, that was the issue. He should have dealt with the Brit Milah first. Okay, let's see. Let's see the run at the bottom of the last page. Lamed Aleph Amud Bet. Dichtiv Vahi Bayom Hashilishi V'yotem Koavim. As the pasuk says, on the third day that they were weak. Talking about the story of Moshe Rabbeinu and doing the Brit Milah for his son.
Rabbi, so his son went off the derech, I understood. I heard one time that something happened to Moshe's son. No?
I don't think they went off the derech, but I think there was a grandson. I think that was Oved Avodah Zarah. The grandson is Oved Avodah Zarah, but I just think his sons were not like kind of regular people. Nothing didn't. There wasn't anything big like regular people type of thing. Yeah. So look at the round at the bottom. Dichtiv vahi bayom hashlishi b'yotam koavim velav lememra de beyom hashlishi ka'iv. Not to say that on the third day it's koev, it hurts. Le'tfe miyom hakama, more than the first day of Brit Milah. Ela lekach himtinu Shimon veLevi ad yom hashlishi. That's why Shimon and Levi waited for the third day. Kadesh yu chalushim beyoter, to be even weaker. Shnichavu gimel yamim. So he says it's proved in the Gemara and Rabbi Eliezer of Milah, Masechet Shabbat, that Shimon and Levi waited so that they're very weak. Day 3, I guess they get weaker before they get stronger. But certainly day 1 and 2 it also hurts, and there's also weakness there. But he says Chalushim, they're very weak before they get strong. That's why they waited to the third day. So maybe it gets worse and worse, but it's going to say that for sure. Also, day 1 and 2 is also days of pain. Let's read the next run, the top of the page. Moshe Rabbeinu dealt with the hotel first. That was the issue. Should have done the Brit Milah first. Shneimar baderech b'malon, as the pasuk says, they went on the way to the hotel. The mashma, the miyad sheba min haderech nitasek b'malon. That we can infer from there that right away, when they came from the traveling, they dealt with the hotel. He should have done a Brit Milah right away. The Ran asks a question. How could he do a Brit Milah on his son? He still had to travel like from the hotel and onwards, because that was his thing. Meaning, if he's going to travel, if he's going to do Brit Milah right away and then travel, it's sakana. You can't travel after Brit Milah, it's sakana. So then, if you're going to go to Mitzrayim right away, Hashem also commanded him to do Brit. So what's the story here? He goes to the Malon, and he's supposed to do Brit, but he deals with the Malon first. That's where he gets punished. But hold on a second. He's still he's still traveling. So if he's going to wake up the next morning, he's going to do a Brit, and then he's going to travel the next morning. He's still traveling. It's going to be a second for his kid. So answers the Ran, Yesh Lomar, Deoto Malon samuch leMitzrayim haya. That Malon was close to Egypt. And for a small travel, it's not a sakana. And this is a Malon near Egypt already. So Moshe Rabbeinu felt it's not a long distance. If I not travel with him, whatever, 5 kilometers into Mitzrayim, after in the morning, a kid has a Brit Milah, it's not a sakana. So it's a short travel. So therefore he says, okay, I could pull off during the Brit Milah. So fine. So when he got there, what did he deal with first? He dealt with the Malon. Oh, that's where the issue is. So it's not. It wasn't an issue of wake up in the morning, continue to travel. When we're thinking, I guess you're stopping at a hotel, you stop halfway, whatever. Maybe however many days it took, or however long it took. But this hotel, says the Ran, was close to Mitzrayim, and all right, that's it. It was close to Mitzrayim, and therefore that was not the issue of sakana wasn't there. And therefore he could have done the Brit Milah. Okay. Says the Gemara, second line down. Ban Shimon ben Gamliel Omer, Lo leMoshe Rabbeinu bikesh Satan laharog. No, Moshe Rabbeinu didn't want to kill the Satan didn't want to kill Moshe Rabbeinu. Ela leoto tinok. He wanted to kill the baby. He wanted to kill the baby in this story, not Moshe Rabbeinu. The punishment would have been on the baby. Why? Shneimar, and not the punishment on the baby, meaning the punishment for Moshe not doing would have manifested on the baby, not on Moshe. How do we know this? Shneimar, the pasuk says, "Ki chatan damim atali." This is what Tzipora, Moshe Rabbeinu's wife, said, that you are about the boy. You are chatan damim lamulot. You are a chatan damim. You are a chatan of blood. She says, what does it mean? Se'ur'e mikaru chatan. Have Omer zatinok. Go and look. Who is called a chatan? The baby. I guess it seems like they would, we call chatan for a chatan who's getting married. We also call chatan bar mitzvah. And it seems like there was also they used to call chatan brit milah. We don't call them nowadays, but it seems like that's what it was. They were called a chatan brit milah because the Gemara says, look around, who's called a chatan? Chatan brit milah is talking about the baby. And an explanation is that also the chatan. Look at the little ran Have Omer, the first thin line. Shenasa chatan ayadei brit. Through the brit, through the covenant, through the connecting to Hashem, you become a chatan. And another explanation along these lines is that chatan means that you're getting married in a certain way. Now this child that has a brit milah is fully Jewish, and now he's getting married with Hashem. He's also called a chatan. Okay, so that's the proof that Rosh Ben Gamliel says that it was actually the Satan wanted that it was going to kill the baby. 5 lines down, Gemara. Darash Rabbi Yehuda bar Bizna. Rabbi Yehuda bar Bizna made a drasha. B'shah shenit Rashem Moshe Rabbeinu min hamilah. When Moshe Rabbeinu was weak in doing the brit milah for his son, ba'u af vechema ubal'u. Af and chema, anger and wrath, came to Moshe and swallowed him. So it wasn't a snake; it was the angel of Af and chema. And we see in other places that even midot have like angels. There's the midah of kavod and this have like an angel that represents that, the leader of that. So Af and chema came to swallow Moshe. Velo shayru mimenu ele raglav, and they didn't leave. When they were swallowing him, they didn't leave anything exposed except for his legs. And look at the next run. Go back to the run there, the left side, first in line. Velo shayru mimenu ele raglav makom hamilah, not the legs, but actually the makom of the brit milah. K'dichtiv velo asar raglav, and he brings up a pasuk that it's referring to the raglaim, are referring to also the makom hamilah. Also, we call urine in Hebrew. We say it in Bamim Alikin is meraglaim. Meraglaim b'mikdash mipnei hakavod. Meraglaim, the water of the legs. To make it more, we don't say the water of that area. The water of the legs is just a hint to urine. So the raglaim is sometimes also hinted to the male organ, and therefore they were swallowing him until that point, to give a hint, like that's the issue why we're here. That's what we're here for, because you're weak in doing a brit milah. Miyad, back to the Gemara. Miyad, right away. Vatikach tziporat sor, vatichrot et orlat bena. And right away, Tzipora took a tzor. A tzor is a stone, a sharp stone. Vatichrot et orlat bena. She cut the orla of her son. Miyad, right away. Vayiref mimenu. They left him. Af and Chema left him. B'ota sha'ah, at that moment, Bikesh Moshe Rabbeinu lehorgan. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to kill Af and Chema. Shneimar heref me'af ve'azov Chema. Get rid of Af and leave Chema. Some say lechema hargu, that actually Moshe Rabbeinu killed Chema. Shneimar, the pasuk says Chema enli. I don't have Chema. Asks the Gemara, there's a pasuk that says Ki agorti mipnei ha'af ha'chema. Ki agorti is I'm protected. What does the agorti mean? Ki agorti. Ki agorti mipnei ha'af ha'chema. that shows that Chema is still around. What does Yaakov mean?
Terrified of the anger.
Yeah, for I was terrified of the anger and wrath. How does it translate there? Anger and wrath. So Chema is still here. Answers the Gemara. Tre Chema havu. There's two types of Chema. V'yibayitema gunda de Chema. And another answer is some say the legions of Chema. Meaning there's two types of Chema. I guess different levels. And the higher level was the one that was killed out. The lower level was remained. Or some say the legions of Chema remained. And the actual Chema leader was killed. Okay, I didn't look into this further. This is definitely something that, like Chema was killed, and how does that work out, and what does that mean exactly? So I don't have a lot of time this morning, but let's see if we could look into this more from the Maharsha and the Ben Ish Chai. I did want to say here that there's a midrash that says as follows. So we see that Tzipora used the stone to do the Brit Milah. We don't use a stone nowadays. We use metal. So what happened in that change? Zev, you remember this midrash? No. Like what happened that we don't see any instrument in the Torah. We said do Brit Milah. The only instrument we see is Tzipora using a tzor, a stone. So the midrash says that when did it change to being used using metal? That was in the story of David versus Goliath. That David threw the stone, and Goliath was wearing a metal helmet. And then there was a machloket over the malachim of stone versus the metal. The stone said, "I'm here to do David HaMelech's will." And he says, "Well, I'm here to protect. What could I tell you? What do you want from me?" So he said, "Let's make a deal. I'm now the one who does the Brit Milah, the stone. I'll give it to you if you open up for me." And he said, "Okay, fine." So he opened up for him the metal. The stone came in, and then the knife took over.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what the judge says. Now,
Did they go for a beer after?
they go for a beer. So how does that work exactly? I don't know more shot to it. I don't know more, what's the connection of Brit Milah to that story? I don't know more. Truth is, the first time I heard this midrash was actually from Rabbi Mansour, and then I checked it up. It's the midrash is brought down in the tour on the halachot of Brit Milah. This midrash, just an interesting.
So we have to thank the helmet of Goliath
for now using metal.
Making us more than us suffer as much.
As a sharp stone, I'm sure did the job.
I think we should do Mishabaracha every time we do
Goliath.
Goliath.
Right.
I think also Aram was he did the Brit with a stone, right?
Yeah, it doesn't tell us in the Torah what the instrument was.
But hold on a second. But
The only instrument that
David and Goliath were after Abraham.
yeah.
So therefore Abraham had to.
So yeah, so I get. I mean, the instrument was stone, seemingly
They
that
didn't have the
until
conversation they had in the stone
until after.
So
Exactly.
say something.
Correct. Yeah. And then the halacha, I think, is that you could use. How do you use any item? I think you could use. I think any item.
I think the metal thing's good.
What?
I think
You think metal's good? You think metal's good? Stick to the
Right
metal.
there with a rock and the guy sharpening it before.
Yeah. Serrated. Okay. Anyways, fine. Tanya says the Braita. So we are about 10, 12 lines down. First word on the line is Tanya. Tanya, Rabbi Omer. Rabbi says, Gedola Milah. How great Brit Milah is. She'en lecha mi shenit'asek b'mitzvot ke'Avraham Avinu. There was no one that did mitzvot, that was osek in mitzvot. He did his job was mitzvot like Avraham Avinu. V'lo nikra tamim ela al shem milah. He wasn't considered perfect. We saw in the Mishnah it says shalem. Here it says tamim, like complete, until he had Brit Milah. Shneimar, as the pasuk says, "Hitalech lefanai ve'etamim." Go after me, says Hashem, and do the Brit Milah, and then you will be tamim. You will be tamim. Uchtiv ve'tena beriti beni u'elecha, and I will give you the brit, the covenant between me and you. Davar acher, another statement. Gedola milah sheshkula keneged kol mitzvot shabatorah. How great Brit Milah is. It is equal to all the mitzvot in the Torah. Shneimar, the pasuk says, Ki al pi hadevarim ha'ele v'gomer. If you have the full pasuk says, V'yomer Hashem Moshe, kitov lechat hadevarim ha'ele. Write these words down. Ki al pi hadevarim ha'ele, karati techa berit ve'et Israel. Based on these things, I made a brit, a covenant to Israel. So the brit over here is talking about Torah, but brit also is Brit Milah. So the Gemara wants to say that the word brit is used for Torah and for Brit Milah. Brit Milah is shkula, therefore Brit Milah is on the same, is equal to all the mitzvot. Davar acher, another statement, Gedola Milah, how great Brit Milah is. Shilumale Milah lo nitkaimu shamayim v'aretz. Without Brit Milah, the heaven and the earth would not stand. Shneimar im lo beriti yomam v'layla. As we saw this pasuk last time, pasuk chet, if you have the full pasuk, Kol Hashem lo im lo beriti yomam v'layla chukot shamayim v'aretz lo samti. If I didn't have the brit of day and night, then the rules of the heaven and the earth I wouldn't put. So again, brit in general, this pasuk is talking about Torah, because ve'agita bo yom v'layla, Torah you have to learn day and night. So Torah is called a brit, and Brit Milah is also called a brit. So brit here, if I didn't have brit, then I wouldn't have day and night. Ufliga de Rabbi Elazar, but this statement argues on Rabbi Eliezer, who says that this pasuk is talking about Torah. Rabbi Eliezer, Gedolah Torah, how great Torah is. Shilumale Torah lo nitkamu shamayim v'aretz. Without Torah, then the heaven and the earth wouldn't stand. Shnamar im lo beriti yom v'layla chukot shamayim v'aretz lo samti. If I didn't have this brit of day and night, the covenant of day and night, because Brit Milah is a covenant of day, you do the Brit Milah at the daytime, but you could also say that Brit Milah is day and night, meaning after you have a Brit, then you have your Brit Milah forever, daytime and nighttime. But also this says Rabbi Eliezer, this is talking about Torah. The Brit of Torah is Agita b'yom v'layla, to learn Torah day and night. And therefore, if I don't have this Brit, I don't set up the heaven and the earth. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amarav says Amar Rav Yehuda Amarav. B'sha'ah she'amar lo HaKadosh Baruch Hu le'Avram Avinu hitalech lefanav yetamim. At the moment that Hashem told Avram Avinu, go in front of me and be complete, achazto ra'ada. He was trembling. Avram Avinu was trembling. Amar Shema yesh bi davar meguneh. Maybe there's something disgusting in me. Maybe there's something missing in me. Meaning Hashem told him, do this and you're going to be complete. Meaning, oh man, I'm not complete right now? Like what did I do wrong? Kevan she'amar lo ve'eteneh biriti beinu v'necha nitkarer adato. But then when he told him, I'm going to make a covenant between me and you, then he got cooled down. And meaning, and like the thing that you're missing is Brit Milah. You just didn't do the Brit Milah yet, and now I'm commanding you to do Brit Milah. It's a big question. As if Avraham Avinu, he wasn't commanded to do the mitzvot, but through his great connection to Hashem, he was able to recognize what Hashem wants in this world, and he did all the mitzvot on his own. And he got to that high level. And the question is, why didn't he do Brit Milah? Do Brit Milah on your own. Because Brit Milah is a one-time mitzvah. Once you do it, you can't. So Avraham Avinu waited to get commanded to do the Brit Milah, and then did the Brit Milah. Other things like Chesed, Tefillin, other mitzvot, it happens multiple times. So he did it on his own.
So you're saying Brit
And
Milah
then-
only because only once.
It's only one time job. Once you cut it, it's over. That's it.
Doesn't go back.
It doesn't go back. So Avraham Avinu wanted to be commanded, as is a concept, Gadol HaMetzuveh. Gadol HaMetzuveh is greater is the person commanded to do a mitzvah that does a mitzvah than a person that's not commanded to do a mitzvah and does a mitzvah. Often people, you might think like, oh my gosh, I'm greater because I'm not commanded to do this and I still do it. Yet the person that's greater is someone that's commanded to do it and does it. Why? Because you have a Yetzer Hara. Once I tell someone, do it, I don't want to do it. The natural reaction is I don't want to do it. But if I'm doing it for my own heart, then you feel good about it if you're doing it on your own. So you might think, oh, look, I'm not even commanded and I'm doing it. That's this famous story of Yosef in the Gemara. He became blind. And he became blind, so now he wasn't obligated to do mitzvot. And then he still did mitzvot, and he threw a party. Wow, I still do mitzvot, even though I'm not commanded. Someone told him the party, Chazaku Baruch, but you know what's greater is someone that's commanded and does the mitzvot. Because if he gets Zerah, once you command, you tell the guy to do something, oh, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, well,
Right? So they ruined the party. So therefore,
Jews, they're
so Avraham Avinu wanted to do bring milah when he's commanded to do it, a higher level.
That is done only once.
One
in
time?
life.
Really?
I don't think so. I mean, nothing
If you
comes
think about it.
up to my mind, but I'm sure there are other mitzvot.
One-time
only
thing.
once.
Let's think about it.
Pidyon
Pidyon Ben is
Pidyon Ben.
Pidyon Ben is a one-time mitzvah. So
But we
I don't know if Avraham Avinu
did it or not.
I don't know if
because
Avraham Avinu was the firstborn or not.
No, not for himself. He has to do it for his
His
son.
son.
That was a Kohen, so he could do it technically in that time. But before the Brit Milah, he didn't have a son. I mean, except
Ishmael, yeah.
He doesn't
The other guy.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. Pidyon Ben, the one-time thing.
But is
But
that,
how that Pidyon Ben put in the Torah that you have to do it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Torah, it's a commandment. Yeah.
but is that perspective because the commandment comes from Hashem, so you have that direct relationship, rather as compared to doing it solely on your own merit? There's not that direct relationship. So is that the reasoning why
For
the
Avraham
commandment
Avinu?
is stronger?
Or in general.
Yeah.
So I think it was because of that reason of the Yetzer Hara. That could be another reason also, that like you're commanded and you're doing it, so now you have that strong relationship. Meaning the case, let's say, of the blind person or a person who's not obligated for whatever reason, he's not obligated, but still does it. So then there's a good feeling there, and it's a great thing for sure, even if you're not obligated to do it. But it is greater when you're obligated and you do it. And that's so it could be giving that now you have a strong relationship because Hashem commanded you to do it and you're actually doing it.
But I would think that if you did it on your
your own,
fruition,
right?
Like you're not commanded, like a goy, right?
To do something.
to become Jewish or to do a mitzvah, you know, their neshama knows it's the right thing to do. They may know the Jews did it or whatever. But I'm gonna do it. I think when you go off without
do your
being
own.
ordered, actually.
Right.
Right?
But there's a concept.
There's a lot of people that are religious Jewish because they're ordered to do it. If there wasn't law,
Oh yeah.
it'd be a free for all.
That's why it's more important.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's it. That because you're commanded and you do it, then it's like because you're not doing it on your own. Because that's what's left when people do things on their own. Then it's like, well, I feel this is right. I feel that is right. I feel that is right. And then there's no like structure. But then I'm doing it because I'm commanded to do it. And that's why I'm doing
Yeah,
it.
because a commandment you do because of fear or belief. There's in
different
that
levels.
belief there is a level of fear.
Yeah.
Okay, if I do this, God's gonna punish me. He told me not to do it. But if I
Do a chesed on my own.
without it being a law,
So
right? I think you get more brownie points.
Yiras Shamayim is more important.
But that's not what it's saying here. It's saying you have to
So-
follow the law because you're commanded to do it.
Because you have Yiras
No,
Shamayim.
but that's not your Shemai. That's fear.
No,
Yiras
because
Shamayim
you
is
might.
fear.
Yeah.
The word Yirat is
That if
fear.
you're leaving it up to you, don't see now chesed is you're still commanded to do chesed. So even though you're doing it on your own, you see a guy, you help him in the street. At the end of the day, you're commanded to do chesed, so you're getting a mitzvah chesed. So you're still commanded, even though you did it on your own, but you're still in the bubble of command. You're still in command. You have a commandment to do so. So
For a non-religious Jew.
or yeah,
Somebody
there's
who
a
doesn't
think
even
about the
know
think
that
about
And
the
have
commandment.
see somebody that wants to keep kosher.
Think about the
And
commandment.
he wants to help him, he can't afford it or whatever, and he
a
knows
nice
it's
thing,
the right
we're not
thing
saying-
to do.
Yeah, it's a nice thing. We're not saying it's not a nice thing. But what's greater? What's greater is we're commanded to do it, and we do it because it's because I don't want to do
If your
something
child
that I'm
comes and all of a
obligated to do.
sudden comes to you and cleans up his bed without you saying, "Go clean your bedroom," and your son goes and cleans the bedroom by himself without you, ordering him to do it, you would feel, wow.
I know, but let's say without the emotion, like instead of the go clean your bedroom, go, look, I have rules in the house. You have to clean your bedroom, clean your bedroom, right? And sometimes what do kids do? They do something, and they're like, thank you so much, but you didn't do what I told you to do. But you did. Okay, it's a nice thing you did, but what I told you to do, you don't do, right? Or like, it was funny on the day of the walkathon, right? So our yeshiva is right on Bathurst. So we felt that, and it's a Sunday morning, and the kids, anyways, it's Sunday, don't like to come to yeshiva. So they felt that, you know
Day
what,
off.
we're gonna get a day off. Also, if anyways, the kid's gonna want to go to the walkathon,
So they
and
couldn't get in.
and then exactly can drive there, and because of, and also safety, like if they're gonna leave us and something's gonna happen, it's our responsibility. But if there's no school, it's parents' responsibility. So we felt, okay, no. But then one of the rabbis said, you know what, we're gonna put optional. So fine. So one of the students who never comes came with optional day. So you see, I get brownie points. You know. I said, but the regular days,
right.
you know, you come, you don't come. So is that you know, that's a perfect example. You know, I mean, like you come in the days you're not supposed to come. And then,
But how many times, if you don't tell your children to do something, if you tell them go do something,
Yeah, they don't.
they won't.
They do.
But if they all of a sudden they know that it has to be done somehow, some way,
Yeah,
they do.
yeah.
But dafka that you ask, no.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. We are at Vayotze Oto. Last one on the line is Oto. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 lines up in the thinnest lines. Vayotze Oto Achutza. This is now talking about so we're speaking about Avraham Avinu. So the conversation that Hashem has with Avraham Avinu, being our leader, etc. Vayotze Oto Achutza. Hashem took him outside. Amar lefanav ribono shel olam, histakalti b'mazal sheli. Avraham Avinu tells Hashem, I saw in my mazal that, and here the letter bet over here, ve'en li ben acher ela Yishmael. I only have Yishmael. I'm not going to have any other children. Like you want me to have children, a whole nation. I have Yishmael, but I'm not going to have any other children. According to the mazal, according to the constellations, that's all I'm having. Amar lo, Hashem tells him, Tze mitstagninot shelcha. Leave your astrology. En mazal Israel. There's no mazal for Israel. So what does it mean, en mazal Israel? This means that like yes, there is mazal, meaning there is, if you look at the stars, someone that knows, there is, Azulai's life is like this, but en mazal Israel means it could always change. It could always change through tefillah, through mitzvot, and the calculation could change. And then if I did this mitzvah or that mitzvah or this tefillah, and I prayed this and that, then the next day the guy who is astrologer could look at, oh, something different now. It's going to be in your life, right? So there is a mazal, but in a way there's no mazal Israel. Goyim there's a mazal, I mean it's fixed. You can look at the thing, whatever they do is not going to change what was destined for them.
But I think you have to change something in your life to change your mazal, because
Yeah.
Abraham changed his name.
Avraham changed his name.
Yeah, because it was Abraham. Hashem changed his name, but like,
So if Hashem changes my name too, the mazal is going to change, right?
course.
It's not Abraham that did it, it's Hashem that
no,
did it.
no, like, but there must be something changed to change your mazal.
I understand, but if God changes something in your life, I
Yeah,
think it's
no,
a lot
yeah,
more
I get
powerful
it.
than me
But like-
changing something in my life.
Yeah.
The point I'm coming to is like,
But it doesn't have to be
You
just
want- you
name.
need to
It
change
doesn't have to
your-
be just name.
if you need to change your mazal, you need to change your.
But as we're
life.
saying,
Like you
Torah,
can, take
Torah,
mitzvot and
mitzvot, even a
what I'm saying.
City that you
tefillah,
live in,
even a tefillah.
wife that you have,
משנה מזל, משנה מקום.
Yes, משנה מקום, משנה מזל.
Isha, yeah.
משנה הכל, משנה הכל. משנה מקום, משנה מזל. Right? משנה השם, משנה מקום. What's the third one? משנה מקום, משנה מזל. When you live a different place, it changes your thing. Also, I think a different job changes your mazal. Person they get married, there's a mazal change. That's like the known ones. Shem, the name changes the mazal
You
to
have to
known
make a
one.
step, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So even at tefillah, like there's a Gemara that says if a person answers a one Amen Yeshua Rabbah, Bekol Kocho with all his strength, he could rip up a bad decree of 70 years on him. It could be ripped up from one Amen Yeshua Rabbah.
Now you're telling me
So, and I don't leave early anymore. Now that's it. So one of it, right? So yeah, a lot of things could change. You're right, but some things are more profound. That's why we add names. God forbid someone's sick, etc. We add a name because a name. That's it. It's for sure a different mazal. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak, Kol hamatmim atzmo Hakadosh Baruch Hu matmim imo. Anybody that makes himself tamim and tries to be complete and tries to be like what's a good word for tamim? Complete and totally pure in Hashem's ways, Hashem gives you that. Shneimar, im chasid titchasad, im gever tamim titamam. If you're chasid, Hashem's going to give you chesed. If you're tamim, Hashem's going to give you tamimut. Amar Hoshia says, Kol matmim atzmo sha'a omedet lo. If you are tamim, Sha'a omed lo. Sha'a omed lo. Rashi, the Ran says, she'oleh legdula. You go up in becoming gadol. Shene'ar hitalech lefanai ve'yeh tamim. You go in front of me and you'll be tamim. Uchtiv ve'ayita le'avamon goyim. Then what does Hashem tell Avraham Avinu? When you become tamim, you're going to be the father of many nations. We're actually going to stop here today. We'll stop here. Let me take a quick look at the Maharsha and see. So we have from Amar Rabbi, Kol Menachesh. From here, we're going to finish, Bezrat Hashem, Thursday, we'll finish the Perek. Let me just give a quick look to the Maharsha and see if... I'm going to get to the Aleph.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah?
there's a lot over here.
Going for the holiday?
Okay. So Bli Neder, maybe for Thursday, we'll prepare some extra stuff for Thursday. Okay, Chazak u'Baruch.
It's on Tuesday.